welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. And woohoo! Finally, my December paper pumpkin has arrived. And this should have been here probably about the 15th of December, but with the mail strike and all, it just arrived today. So I'm really excited. I'm letting my bread rise a little bit longer so that I can open up my paper pumpkin. So let me go down to my desk. Here we are. And I'm just going to open up this puppy because I've been waiting a long time. Now, the ink spot on this one is Blackberry Bliss. So when I do the stamping, I'm actually going to use my own, my big Blackberry Bliss. But there's some great stamps in here. So we've got Just a Note. Thank you, congrats, hello, get well soon, best of luck, and lots of love. Now I've printed off the stamp cover that you can find on the Paper Pumpkin site. If you go to How Paper Pumpkin Works and scroll right to the very back of the bottom of the page, you can actually print these off. And I trim them to fit into these little envelopes that I get on Amazon. And I have the link listed in the description of my non-Stampin' Up favorite things. So this is the envelope that I use. It's in there. So these are the actual stamps. And I like the little different letters in the fonts there. It's kind of cute. So that's those. So, whoa, isn't that pretty? Now, I love anything with a fern on it. I just think ferns are so pretty. We have some growing on the dark side of our house, and they always come out really nice because we don't get much sun back in there, and we have a pond on that side of the house as well, so the ferns seem to do quite well back there. All right, so let's take all of this out. And my directions. Oh, and here you always get a little thing that you can make an envelope out of. Somebody said that if you put tear and tape along one side and across the bottom, you can slip your little stamps will fit right in there. But I choose to do mine this way. But you know, it's all whatever you like. So let's see. The coordinating colors for this are Blackberry Bliss, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, Pretty in Pink, Very Vanilla, and Gold. Very cute. And then keep in mind that this December kit is the last month for these coordinating dies, which I have right here. And obviously the fern is one that's going to coordinate with this month's kit. And then for the January paper pumpkin, they always bill on the 10th of the month. That is the final day that you can order the paper pumpkin for that particular month, and it is a subscription. So you can purchase 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. And I usually go for the 12-month one. So when you order the 12-month package, you actually get, it works out so that you get your last month is pretty much free. So let's see what's in here. I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. I guess I didn't have any fresh air today, so I guess I'm a little squirrely. So here we have, I think, 9 envelopes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 envelopes, and this is in the Mossy Meadow. And then we have our card fronts. They're really pretty. They're the scalloped edges in the white. We have, I would imagine, 9 of those. Here we have our labels. So those are nice. Oof, look at these. So we have 3 sheets of these with the blackberries. I guess those are blackberries. I don't know what kind of flowers these are. They kind of look like peonies. I'm not a flower person, so I have no idea. And the ferns, of course. So there's 3 each of those. And then we have these three. These are labels. And it looks like they go on the front of the envelopes. So peel and stick labels, we have 9 of those. And then we have our vellum elements. So 3 sheets of those as well. Very pretty. Okay, so let's look and see. Oh, so we also have our little roll of tear and tape and some dimensionals and some gold glitter little adhesive dots. Those are really pretty. Okay, let's see. Let's grab our directions. And I'm going to grab my Blackberry Bliss stamp ink pad. Blackberry Bliss. All right, so we have our Blackberry Bliss. So for the first card, we're going to need a card base, a vellum element. Wow, these are really pretty. A vellum element here, and a floral. I've really gotten hooked on the ephemera packs. I never really was into them prior to recently, but I just find that I'm using them like all over the place. I did all of my Christmas labels with the Christmas ephemera packs this year. All right, so we've got one of the little oval ones. And our embellishments, which are right here. And the happy birthday stamp, which is here. Okay, so we've got our happy birthday stamp. I'm going to grab a block. Now your first paper pumpkin comes with a block that is like this. And it's got, this one says Stampin' Up on the side, but the one that comes with your first paper pumpkin says paper pumpkin on there. But I prefer to use the ergonomic blocks. Both work equally well, but my nails are a little bit longer, and I just find sometimes that this one for me is a little bit awkward because my nails are longer. But I do, you know, when I'm doing something and I'm experimenting and I have lots of stamps loaded, I have about 6 or 8 of these, and I'll have all of my blocks loaded up with stamps, and then I can just grab, you know, whatever I'm kind of using. So I'm going to use my ergonomic one today, and I'm going to grab a smaller one. It's really a good idea to if you have the ability to, in your budget, to grab different sizes of these blocks. It's a really good idea, because the closer the block is to your stamp size, the less rocking you're likely to have, and the less sort of you're not going to get those like shadows, those ghosty shadows around your stamps. All right, so I'm going to give this a clean. This is really wet. Let me just squeeze that out. Okay, I just have like one of those spongy dish towels with me. My my chamois is dried out, and I forgot to wet it. So I'm just using a wet dish towel, and I just want to clean off the manufacturer's residue, because whenever you get new stamps, it's gonna have some manufacturer's residue on it. So the first thing we're going to do is, let's see, number 1, we're going to stamp happy birthday onto our little element. Now, if you don't have a glass mat. For some reason, the glass mat works really, really well when you're stamping. If you don't have a glass mat, it's really a good idea to have like your silicone mat underneath it or your Stampin' Pierce mat under it, just to give it a little bit of give, because unlike the rubber stamps, the red rubber stamps, this doesn't have any kind of sponginess to give it any give in it. So it's recommended that you use like your Stampin' Pierce mat, or even under on my desk here. This is it's a table mat, like a, what is it? It's like a desk mat, and it's like neoprene. So it's got some give to it, so it works as well. So I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper somewhere. Grab one behind me here. And I'm just going to test stamp this a couple of times to kind of, what do you call that? Like, just prepare my stamp. I just want to, I forget what the word is. My brain's not working today. I was going to say purge. It's not purge. It's like you want to just get it used to accepting the ink. So that's stamping up beautifully. So I'm going to stamp my happy birthday right there. Beautiful. And I'm going to close this so I don't get ink on anything. So I've got my happy birthday done. And I have my card base here. And it's pre-scored, so I'm going to go ahead and line up my scallops here. And burnish it with my bone folder. So you can see it looks white, but there's actually, it looks like there's like very vanilla. Oh, Daffodil Delight. Daffodil Delight is one of the other colors. So there's probably Daffodil Delight. There's like a little yellow background. It's very, very faint, and it's just here and there. But I suspect it's probably Daffodil Delight. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our turn tape. Now this is the way that Stampin' Up! Wants you to do it. So I'm going to do the first one their way, and then I'm going to do subsequent ones my way. Because I just, the way they're doing it to me seems like a bit of a waste of tear tape. And I use tear tape for a lot of things, so I wouldn't waste it doing it this way. So they lay the peony, or whatever it is, down like this. And then they put this on top like that. And then they're taking the tear tape. I guess I'll use the one that came in it because there's not that much on it. So then they take the tear tape and they just go right across the back like this. And right across the bottom like this to hold it in place. So I mean, it's going to do two things, because it's gonna stick the vellum to the back of the flower, and then you're gonna peel it off and stick it to the front of your card. So I guess, it's two ways that way. But you could easily get away with, I think, using smaller pieces of the tear tape. And just pop it on. All right, so I'm going to pop this on here like this. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my greeting. There, so just 3 little dimensionals on the back there. And then just pop this over here like that. Oops, crooked. Am I crooked? a little bit. Okay, let me lift that up. There we go. It's better. And then I'm going to pop a couple of these little gems. These are so pretty. Pop a couple of these on here. So there's our first card. Wasn't that simple? Super, super, super simple. Very, very basic. Yeah, so that's card number 1. So for card number 2, let's have a look. So card number 2, we are going to need a vellum. Going to need a card base. Going to need a vellum. Where's my vellum? Okay, and we are going to need a fern. And a circle label. Is that everything we need? Oh, and our stamp, just a note. So let me clean this stamp. And I'm going to grab the just a note. I love sending just a note card because it just says so much. You know, it doesn't commit you to any particular event or any kind of feelings. It's just a note. And it could be for a birthday, or it could be just to say hello to somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Okay, so I've got my just a note, I have my circle, and I have my card elements. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and stamp our greeting. Let me grab my little... Now, did I pre-clean my stamp? I don't know if I did or not. I think I did, but always give that a clean. Get that residue off. I can't remember if I did or didn't. I'm just going to take a dry cloth because that's pretty wet. It did stamp nicely though. And then I'm just going to prime it. Priming is not the word I'm thinking of. Season, I guess. Season your stamp. Just by putting some ink on there. And I think my stamp pad probably could use to be a little bit re-inked, but I'm not going to take the time to do that right now. I'm just going to stamp this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put in just a note. Beautiful. Okay, and the same thing. Now I'm going to do this one my way. I'm not going to use all that turn tape to go right across the back of the card. I don't think really that that's kind of necessary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm just going to pop a little bit. Most of this, you don't normally put glue on vellum, but most of this is going to be behind the fern anyway. So I'm just going to kind of do it up the middle where it isn't going to be seen. And then the fern is going to hold it in place. So now I just have to figure out where I kind of think I want it. So I'm going to pop it on an angle like this. And then I'm going to take my fern and I'm going to put it this way. But I think I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals just because it's looking a little flat. So I'm going to grab a few dimensionals and pop this up. There. I love ferns. In the summer, I always have some Boston ferns on my deck at the back, on my back deck. And I usually have 2 or 3 in our sitting area, and they're just so pretty and lush. And they last all summer, and there's no yeah, they just last all summer, and they're pretty easy to take care of. So ferns are my thing. All right, so here, because this fern is popped up, I'm just going to put a couple of dimensionals on the bottom and just a little dab of glue here on the top to anchor it to my fern. So I'm going to pop that up like that. Oh, you know what? It helps if you take the back off the the back off. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, I need a little bit more glue here. Oh my goodness. All right, so that's going to go like this. Off to the side. And again, I'm going to pop a few of these little beautiful gems onto here. Oops. Ah, stuck it to my glass mat. So I'm going to put one on here, I think, like that. And a couple over here. There. Super pretty. What else I'm going to do is, big surprise, I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on my fern. Now, if you watch any of my videos, you know I love my Wink of Stella. And I think this one is running out. It's not very shimmery anymore. I think I've, sometimes when they get to the point where they're kind of on their last legs, ooh, I got some on there. You can add a little bit of rubbing alcohol just to bring it back to life a little bit, because there's always a lot of glitter left. And I hope that shows up. But what a difference, just that, yeah, you can see just a little bit of glitter makes to jazz up that that fern like that. So when you're I'm just gonna put this down in case we have a disaster. So if your Wink of Stella is getting a little bit low, this comes apart. And there is like a little this little black thing pops out. Now, make sure you do this over paper towel, because you could have a disaster on your hands. But if you look at my tube here, when it first starts to go, there's usually a lot of still glitter in the bottom of this, and in mine there's none. Like it's empty. There's a tiny bit at the end here, and I don't really see any down at the bottom. I could put a couple of drops of alcohol in there. I don't know whether where's my alcohol? I could squirt a little bit down in there. I don't know if I'm going to resurrect it at all, because as I say, my little tube is nearly empty, but typically you will find that there's a bunch of glitter at the bottom here, and if you add alcohol and give it a really, really good shake, you can resurrect it for another little while to get some more glitter out of, like, you want to use it all up. So let's see if we're going to have any more glitter in there. There's a bit, not a lot. But I do have a new one right here. And so here's a little quick thing. When you get your new one, you'll see there's a black ring here. What you need to do is remove that ring when you pop this together so that the glitter can transfer down to the brush. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you, I'm gonna open this, no, I'm gonna open this one and see if there's, oh no, that's another new one. I got a bunch of new ones. Let's see if there's any glitter left in the bottom of this one. I'm just gonna pop it. I'm way off topic here, but just a quick. Yeah, you can see on this one, there's quite a bit of glitter down at the bottom here. There's like almost a ½ inch of glitter that I can still use. So yeah, don't be quick to throw them out. You know, add a little bit of rubbing alcohol, shake the daylights out of it, and resurrect those glitters at the bottom of the brush. Okay, my little quick hint for the day. All right, so that's that card number 2. Super, super cute. Another thing I think I might want to do is I'm going to take a, no, maybe I'll do it on the next one. I'll do it on the next one. All right, so card number 3 is our blackberries. Okay, so we need a card base. And we need our blackberries. I have glitter all over me. So, okay, we need our blackberries. These are so pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, and some fern. Not fern, what do you call this? Vellum. So, let's see here. And we need a square, a rectangular label. And congrats. I'm not going to do congrats. I'm going to do lots of love because I don't really have anything to congratulate anybody about at the moment. So I'm going to do lots of love. No, I'm going to do thank you because I do a lot of thank you cards. So I'm going to do thank you instead of congrats. Like this third card is asking for congrats, but I do more thank yous than I do congrats. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to clean this stamp before I put it away. Now you'll notice that my stamps are turning red, and that's normal. That's photopolymer for you. They do absorb the color. So when you see a really good deal on Temu and things like that that look like Stampin' Up stamps, but they're not, it's because they're not. Our stamps are made out of photopolymer, and the ones on Temu are made out of silicone. And silicone does not absorb ink the way that photopolymer does. So the chances of you getting a good stamp with a Temu stamp aren't great. All right, so I'm just going to give that a clean. And my scrap here, I'm going to give it a test stamp. Now it shows in the picture here the envelopes. I haven't done the envelope yet, but I will. Okay, I'm going to give this a little stamp just to get it inked up. That looks okay. And I've got my little label. Pop that right on there. Beautiful. Okay. So same thing, the vellum is going to go down, and then the floral image is going to go right on top of it. So I think I'm going to Wink of Stella this up. I'm going to winkify it a little bit. Oh yeah, lots of glitter in here. Now that I've added that little bit of alcohol to it. I love Wink of Stella. I put it on almost every card. So, beautiful day here in Ontario today. It's cold. It was, I went for a pedicure this morning because we're going away. and I was in sandals and it was minus 12. It was a little nippy, but that's okay. Just to and from my car, so I survived. So I'm looking forward to some tropical weather. There. Okay. So you can see how nice and shimmery the shimmer in there is. So pretty. All right. So the next thing I want to do, which I didn't do on my last card, but I want to do it on this one, is I'm going to put a piece of paper down like this. I'm going to get everything else out of the way because I don't want to have a disaster on my hands. So I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm going to make sure that I have a lot of glitter on the brush. And then I'm just going to splatter my card top, just to give it a little bit more interest. There. So you can see, now you can see it looks gray, but that's alcohol, that's going to dry. But now I have shimmer all over the front of my card. I don't know if it shows up or not, but trust me, it's very shimmery. It's really, really pretty. So that done. Now I can add my other elements and it just makes it wake up. Like, I love the shimmer. And it's funny, I don't wear a lot of jewelry. I don't wear a lot of glimmer when I'm dressing up, but on my card making, gotta have it. Love it, love it. Okay, so I'm gonna put a bit of glue behind here because again, I don't want to use up all my tape, tear and tape. So I'm going to put this going this way. And again, stuck to my finger. I wouldn't normally put glue behind vellum because you can see it, but because this is going to be over it, you're really not going to see it. And again, I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. It doesn't say to do that in the directions, but I like it. I don't usually listen to directions unless I'm making something from IKEA, and then you kind of have to. Because, you know, if you don't, put one there. Very cute. All right. So I'm going to put this one over to one side like this. And then my thank you is also going to have a couple of dimensionals on it. So I'm going to put the dimensionals on the side that is going to be lifted like this. And then on this side, I'm going to put a bit of glue because it's going to stick to my flower. Just a bit of glue there to anchor it. Pop off the backs of my dimensionals. And then this is going to go like that. Oh my gosh. You know, just putting that little bit of glimmer at the bottom, behind, what a difference. Like, I don't know whether you can see or not, but let's do the one that has no shimmer whatsoever. So I don't know if you can tell. This one has none, and this one has it on the flowers and on the background. Hard to say. I don't know. I can see it, and it really looks cute. Try it. Try it. You'll like it. You'll like it. Lisa says so. Okay, so these are the 3 cards from the kit. And then we have our envelopes that are I hope Stampin' Up's going to come out with colored envelopes because I just love them. So this is Mossy Meadow, and I'm just looking for my labels. So here are the labels for the envelopes, and they just peel right off. And then I'm going to center my label right on the envelope like that. So now we have somewhere to put our greeting for our envelopes. Beautiful. Really, really, really nice. Love it. Okay, so those are the 3 cards from the kit. So now I'm going to rack my little brain and I'm going to try and come up with some alternates. All right, so hang tight. I'm going to come up with some alternates. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some alternatives. So let me grab a card base. And I will just tell you that I actually created a couple of cards earlier. I thought I was recording and I was not. So I only have 1 card base left, and I have another one that I was trying something and I folded it, so I don't know whether I'll use this one or not, or just use a basic white card base. But I do have one more card base here, and I'm going to burnish it, and I'm gonna take a piece of scrap paper here, and I want to create some texture on it. So I have my Blackberry Bliss marker. Now we have our water based Stampin' Right markers. And this is the Blackberry Bliss, and you can see it's got 2 lines on it. So the fine line is the fine pen tip, okay? And then the wider line is like a brush tip. So I'm going to take my brush tip, and I'm going to take the tip and flick it from the inside of the lid. And so what I want to do is get some splatter going here. So there, so you can see it just a little bit of Blackberry Bliss splatter on the card base. And it's not a lot, but it's just enough to give it a little bit of texture. So you can see there's not a lot on there, just a little bit of texture. And I'm going to do the same thing with my Wink of Stella, because I want to have some glimmer on my Wink of Stella. So I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm just going to flick that brush there. So you can see it landing, and it looks dark where it's landed, but that's just alcohol with the glimmer in it. The alcohol is going to dry, and all you're going to see is the glimmer. There, so pretty. There, beautiful. Okay, so that's that part. And then I need my my blackberries. My little blackberries. There. I had a cloth sitting in my little garbage can. And I also need a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Only about maybe an inch or so. Not even. So I cut that. That's about an inch. But what I want to do is I'm going to take a piece of basic white, just basic white cardstock, and I'm going to run it through the Fern embossing folder. There. Can you see? Yeah, now you can see. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And let me just grab my machine. Now when you're doing the 3D embossing folders, you can tell the 3D ones because they're pretty thick. So let me grab my machine here. And when you're doing embossing folders, you need your base, your platform base, which is number 1, and the gray plate number 4. And this comes with the embossing machine. And then you always feed your embossing folder in fold first, like that. So you always want the fold to go in first, okay? So I'm going to just run that through like this. And then this is our embossed fern. So you can use the embossed side or you can use the debossed side. They both look beautiful. All right, so I'm going to cut this to maybe a couple of inches. How big is this? This is probably 4 by 5 1/4. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to cut this at 2 inches. And I'm going to keep this for another card. And I'm going to trim this down to maybe 5. Maybe 4 1/2. Well, let's do 3 3/4. I can always cut off more if I feel like I want to. And then I've got my piece of Blackberry Bliss right here. And I want this to be behind, but I only want it like to about here. So I'm going to trim off a couple of inches. So I'm going to cut that off. And then this is just going to sit here like this. So we have our card base. And this is going to go like this. Like that. Okay. So let's glue this puppy together. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue and center this. And I really only want about, I don't know, just 1/4 inch or so on here. And then I'm going to glue this back here. So because this is embossed, I'm going to be pretty heavy-handed with the glue. Whoops. Oh, shoot. That made a mess. And then pop this on here. Like that. Centered from the top to the bottom. Let me just grab a baby wipe and clean up that glue before I get glue on everything. All right, so there is this, and then we have our berries, and I need a piece of the vellum. Which is over here. So I'm going to cut this little vellum thing in half, like this, because I want more of the vellum to show. Like if I was to leave it intact, it really doesn't. Let me grab the one of the original ones that we did. Like you really don't see a lot of the vellum. So what I decided to do is cut it in half and spread it out so that you see more of the vellum behind the blackberries, like that. Isn't that pretty? So again, when you're using vellum, you don't want to have glue showing. So I'm going to put it behind where the berries are going to be. So basically just on one spot, because the glue will show. So let me pop that over here. I'm just going to cut this tail off because we don't need it. And I don't want it sticking out. And then same thing on this side. I'm just going to put glue towards the center so it doesn't show. And I'm going to pop this over here. And we're going to winkify our berries. I think this one's on its last legs here. I'm going to have to crack open a new one. I did put some alcohol in it to revitalize it, but I think even that. There. Okay, and I'm going to pop out that little thing is still sitting there. There, beautiful. Okay, so let's grab some dimensionals. So these alternatives, while they're very pretty, they don't take a lot of time. You just, for me, I find what takes the most time is trying to figure out what you're going to do, right? Like, there. So I'm just going to pop some dimensionals around. I'm going to put a little piece up on that little put a little piece there and a little piece up here and some there and a couple down the middle just to hold it up. We don't want any saggy bits. There. Okay. So pretty. I love to grow some blackberries. I really like them. They're a little bit seedy when you eat them, but I still really like them. We tried to grow some raspberries a few years ago, and the bushes went wild. You buy like roots because they're runners off of a farmer, which we did, and we planted them. And I don't know if we are supposed to do something special with them. No idea. But I figured they grow wild all over the place. So what should you have to do to them, right? Like we watered them and whatever. In 5 years, not a single raspberry. Not one. I don't know why. Are you supposed to trim them? Or are you supposed to like feed them something special? I have no idea. Anyway, we've had zero. So yeah, it's been kind of disappointing. Okay, so for my sentiment, I'm going to use the thank you. I must have ink on my finger because I just got ink all over this. Let's see. I do have ink all over me. Good grief. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put that over there. I'm going to pick up my stamp. And I guess I didn't clean it the last time I used it. So I'm going to grab the Blackberry Bliss. Don't ask me what that is on there. And I'm going to ink this up. Now, I'm not pressing hard. I'm just going to let that sit there for a couple of seconds just so the ink will absorb into the paper and you get such a beautiful stamp. So I'm going to flip that over and we're going to pop it up on dimensionals. I'm going to have to grab another package of dimensionals, I think. There. So I'm almost finished my whole sheet, skeleton and all. I go through dimensionals like there's no tomorrow, but they're inexpensive, so it's okay to use a lot of them. All right, so I'm going to pop this on here. And I think I'm going to have to move this dimensional. And I'm going to put it over here. And maybe put a bit of glue here. Because I'm putting it over to the side, so I want it to be more like that. And that'll anchor the this side where there's no dimensionals because it's on top of the flower. Isn't that pretty? I don't know if you can see the shimmer. Maybe not. I can sure see it. It's very subtle, but it's really pretty. And then of course I have the shimmer on the blackberries. But again, it's very subtle. My Wink of Stella is on its way out. I'm going to grab a new one and see if that makes a difference. Just give it a good shake. When you get a new one, always shake it. Now, when you get a new one, it's going to have this black ring on it. So you want to take that off. That's garbage. And then you just screw it back together. Give it a little squeeze to prime the brush. Oh, yeah, what a difference. I don't know if you can see. The glitter here is unbelievable compared to before. So I'm just going to add a little bit. Oh, yeah, holy smokes, look at that. A little bit more of the glimmer. That's very glimmery now. Holy Dinah. There. Oh my gosh, you'll be able to see that for sure. That's almost a little too glimmery for me, but it is a new brush, so there we go. There. If you can't see that glimmer now, there's something wrong. That is really pretty. There. It's a shame I can't take the background off and do another splatter, but it's there. I can see it and it looks okay. Very, very pretty. Okay, so there's card number 1. And then for card number 2, I'm going to do a different kind of technique. Just wipe this up here. That I did earlier when my video was not videoing. But unfortunately, I don't have another one of these card bases. So this is the card that we're going to make. But I've used up all my card bases. And I'm going to use just a basic white card base. So I've got basic white here. And that's not basic white thick. I'm just going to grab some thick basic white here. Okay, so I have a sheet of basic white thick, which is better if you're making card bases. I use the thick as opposed to the layering weight. So I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. So I have my 8.5 by 11. So half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and just score that. And remember, the light blade is your scoring blade. And I'm going to rotate it half a turn here, and I'm going to cut it at 5 1/2. And this will give me 2 of the card bases. There, so there's 1, there's 2. And I'm also going to take another piece of the basic white layering weight, which I have here. Oops, not that one. There we go. Cat hair. And I'm going to take the, I was rooting around the other day and I found some masks that were from last year. And they're on my desk somewhere. Who knows where they could be? Oh, here they are. Okay. And they're called the 4 square decorative masks. Now, I really like these. And these, when I sell some of my old product, I never get rid of my stencils. I love stenciling. And my little granddaughter, when she comes, she loves to stencil too. So I did a test stencil with pink and yellow. What did I do with the yellow one? Well, that's weird. I have no idea. So I did a couple of color swatches. Oh, here it is. And so here it is in Daffodil Delight. And I ended up actually going with Pretty in Pink, and I just liked it better. So I'm going to find my Pretty in Pink and a brush. So, and okay, so I've got my my stencil here, and I'm going to line it up so that it's pretty straight. That looks pretty straight, I think. There. So I'm just going to ink up my brush with the Pretty in Pink. And I don't have a brush for every color. I just have a brush for every color group. So I have pink, I have one for pink, I have one for yellows, and I just cleaned the brushes really well. And I know I just used this one on the other card, so I know that it's fine. And then, so I'm just going to come in from the edge here and do a little bit of the Pretty in Pink here in the corner. There, just like that. Isn't that cute? Looks so pretty. But then I'm going, oh, let me just clean this here so I don't get ink on anything. So I'm going to take my Blackberry Bliss marker again, and I'm going to splatter. Now I want to move this because I don't want to get ink on it. So I'm going to splatter my front of my card with the Blackberry again. I don't know, all of a sudden I just like to splatter. It's kind of weird, but so that's the Blackberry Bliss. You can see it's very subtle, but it's there. Just gives it a bit of texture. And then I'm going to take my new Wink of Stella, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to load up my brush here a tiny bit. There. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my brush and I'm just kind of flicking it against the edge of the lid like this. And again, it's subtle, but it's there. If you have a spray glimmer, you can do that too. I have a couple, but I just thought this is kind of a cool technique. Now you can see it's a little bit dark here in places, but that's alcohol. It's going to dry, and then all you'll see is the shimmer. I don't know if you can see the shimmer. Maybe not that much, but I can sure see it. Anyway, so I've got my Blackberry Bliss, my shimmer, and my Pretty in Pink. And I was debating on my other card that I did. I actually ran this through the Fern embossing folder, and I think I'm going to do that. So my Fern embossing folder is here. So I'm just going to run that through real quick. There, just to give it some more texture. Really cute. Now this needs to be trimmed down, and I'm going to trim it to, I think, 3 3/4 by 5. So chop some off the top. So I'm going to cut off about 1/2 inch, and 3 3/4 is there. It is such a beautiful, well, oh, it just got dark again. It was so beautiful. We got about 6 inches of snow overnight. And I think I want to trim that a little bit more. And this morning, or a little while ago, it was beautiful and sunny. And now it's dark again, and it almost looks like it's going to snow again. Which I'm happy for my daughter because she's got the kids in skiing lessons this month. So I had it at 3 3/4. I'm going to go 3.5 maybe. Let's see what that looks like. And I'm going to put a little sliver of Blackberry Bliss in there. So probably maybe 2 inches. And I want this to go behind here. So I'm going to have to trim this to 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to trim this to 4. Just so that I have a little bit of edge behind this. So this is going to sit like this. Like that. There, that looks pretty. Okay, so let's go ahead and put, what did I do with my glue? Here it is. Okay, I'm going to put glue on here. I need to fill up my bottle. And I'm going to center that. Like that. There. Okay, so then we can go, did I make that change? No, it's fine. So we can go ahead and glue up this. Okay, and I'm going to pop this onto here, centered. Now, if you're using up scraps, what you could have done was just take two by, say, 1/2 inch, 2 pieces that are 2 by 1/2 inch, and just have the 2 little strips there as well. If you're trying to use up your scraps, that would definitely work. I'm just going to pop a bit of glue behind here so it's not lifting. So pretty. And then I'm going to take one of my vellum flowers. What did I do with those? Here they are. So my vellum. And again, I'm going to cut it in half the way I did before. And don't need that. And I'm just going to pop this down on the side. And I'm going to put the glue on the inside side. Does that make sense? The inside side? There, like that. Oops. Stuck to me. Okay, get over there. And then these guys are going to go on this side. Like that. And I want this quite over so that you can see it, because once you get the flower on there, you lose a lot of your floral. Okay, so here's my peony. And again, I'm going to winkify it And I'm going to use my new Wink of Stella so that I can actually really get some good glimmer going here. There we go. And yeah, wow, what a difference when you have a new brush. Whew. And instead of doing the whole flower this time, I think I'm just going to be a little bit more fussy about where I put my glimmer. I'm just doing some of the highlights. I'm typically not a pink type person. I don't particularly love the color pink, but this flower, and we do have peonies out in the front yard. They don't last very long though. When they bloom, they're out and they're gone. They don't last long. I don't know if any of you guys have tried that new kit. I forget what it's called, Painting Nature's Paintings or something like that. I did a video on them a couple of weeks ago. So beautiful. I gave one to two of our girls are a little bit crafty, so I gave them a kit of that for Christmas so that they could dig into their watercolor brains. They're so beautiful. So if you haven't had a chance to check out that kit, check it out. It's in the online, like if you just go to Critters'nink.com, you'll see that there's a link just to go to the online store, and you can, I just need to get some more dimensionals here. Yeah, if you go to the online store and just like go to the kits department, they're there, and there's a couple of new kits that just came out last week as well. They're beautiful. No, it'd be this week they came out. What's the date today? I don't even know. But they came out on, I think, Tuesday, the new kits, and they're gorgeous. Gorgeous. So go check them out. And I will, when I edit this video, I will pop my January host code on the screen. Now, speaking of host codes, the host codes actually will be disappearing in April, I believe. So what that means is that instead of the host getting the 10% benefits of having an order over in Canada, it's over $200. What will happen is that everybody who places an order over 25% will get a credit for 10% of their purchase to be used on their next order. So I think it's better. I think it's a better system, honestly, because a lot of people put in orders for, you know, $75 or $50, but unless you get to $200 in Canada, you don't get those benefits. So I think it's a great idea that everybody gets to benefit from placing even a $25 order. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. All right, so I'm going to put just a note here. Let me pick it up with my, did I clean this? I think I did. Well, maybe I didn't. Yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot of controversy about losing the host code, and I just think it evens the playing ground, because, you know, we still get our commission, and then this way, I'm using the Blackberry Bliss, by the way, and then this way everybody who places an order gets to benefit. I think it's a great idea. All right, so I'm going to put this off to one side, or am I? Yeah, let's. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it off to one side here. Beauty. I'm going to clean it this time. a little forgetful with the cleaning of the stamps here today. And I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals, but I'm going to put the dimensionals on the right hand side, on this side, and a little bit of glue on the stem here to hold it. So just a couple of dimensionals and a bit of glue. And then we're going to pop this on like that. Beauty. And then we have our little embellishments here. So cute. And my take your pick tool. Helps if you it helps if you have it facing the right way up. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you. There, and I'm gonna pop a big one here and a little one beside it. Like that. And then let's see, put one there. Oops. And we'll pop one up at the top. There. That is super cute. Very, very cute. And you can see just a bit of this splatter behind. If you wanted to, too, you could actually splatter the whole background, but I didn't. And I'll think of something to put on the inside at a later time. But I just wanted to quickly show you a couple of alternatives, just using some texture and some ink. So these are the cards that actually came in the kit. Where are they? So these were the 3 original cards. Let me just get this glitter off of here because I'm getting it on everything. Let's give that a quick wipe. Okay, so these are the 3 cards that the kit was designed, except that I put a little bit of glimmer on the Wink of Stella on the flowers, but you know, that's me. That's what I like to do. So let me get this out of the way here. There. Okay. And okay, so these are the 3 that were the original. Oh no, not this one. Sorry. This one. So these are the 3 original cards. So then these were my alternatives. So the ones that I made when I wasn't videoing. So there's that one with the Blackberry Bliss cardstock and a little bit of embossed paper. And then we have this one with the embossing and the splatter. And then using that mask just to create a little bit of interest there. And then this was one that I did with the fern, and I just put a bit of the Mossy Meadow down the side. I just had a 1/2 inch strip of Mossy Meadow, and I put it behind a little piece. This is 2 inches by looks like 4 3/4, the embossed piece. So 2 inches by 4 3/4, and I just plopped that behind the fern to give it a little bit more interest. And again, I splattered with using my Stampin' Right marker in the Mossy Meadow. Isn't that cute? I hope you enjoyed a couple of extra cards. I enjoy making them. And so if you aren't already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can subscribe any month by the 10th of the month. And be eligible for that month's paper pumpkin. So you can buy like a single paper pumpkin just to try it out, or you can buy a 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month subscription. And it is a subscription, so it's like getting a magazine. You don't know what's going to be in it each month, but yeah, I mean it's great, and I like to take them with me when I'm traveling, just because it's everything comes in a little box, and everything that you need to do that particular kit is in that kit. The only thing with paper pumpkin is that you only get a block with your first one. Subsequent paper pumpkins don't have a block, but you do get that one block. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. If you aren't already a subscriber and like what you see, I'd love you to subscribe. And if you are a subscriber, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. If you do have some alternatives, feel free to post them at Critters'n Creativity on my Facebook page and share your crazy creativity with us. Bye for now. Have a super weekend, and we'll see you soon.